Welcome to the Shorten Anime channel. Today we'll dive into the latest episode of The Great Ruler. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. The Great Ruler Season 2, Episode 5, Boom! As Mu Chen charged at the attack, a golden light erupted from his palms. Then, a mysterious engraving of a golden tower started to form in his palm, and a bizarre fluctuation emerged. Vajra Pagoda! At this moment, the spiritual energy within Mu Chen's body seemed to have completely activated itself. The golden light flashing within his hand had instantly turned even more dazzling, giving off the appearance that it was constructed from pure gold. As Mu Chen took flight into the air, he shot off a palm fiercely. In that instant, golden light surged through the sky, and an enormous golden hand emerged. A clear golden tower engraving could be seen on the massive golden hand. Bang! The golden hand was fired off majestically, and under numerous gazes, it smashed heavily into the golden sun that was descending down towards it. Dong! The two powerful attacks collided fiercely with each other, and golden waves spread out furiously from the sky, causing numerous bursts of gales. Suppress this for me! Within Mu Chen's eyes, a golden light seemed to glow. He clenched his hands tightly, and a cold cry resounded throughout the sky. Bang! As Mu Chen's voice faded away, the golden tower engraving on the golden hand instantly lit up. As the engraving moved, it seemed to have formed into a true golden pagoda and attempted to suppress the golden sun. Under the cover of the golden hand, the powerful golden sun that was formed by Chu Chi's spiritual energy rapidly darkened. It was as if it was truly suppressed by the pagoda. At this moment, Chu Chi's expression finally changed. The golden tower engraving on the golden palm was too bizarre. He lost connection with every part of the golden sun that was covered by the golden hand. Moreover, the sun was constantly being weakened. What sort of attack is this? Isn't this a little too weird? Chu Chi's eyes jumped. He never thought that his strongest attack would have been stopped as well. Boom! As the golden hand descended completely onto the golden sun darkened and began to dissipate. Seeing this, Mu Chen's eyes flashed. His hands changed and the golden hand erupted out again. As it flashed with dazzling light, it appeared on top of Chu Chi and smacked down. Roar! Behind Chu Chi, the jaded-eyed golden crystal beast roared towards the sky as if it had detected danger approaching it. At this moment, Chu Chi hurriedly lifted his head and gritted his teeth. Spiritual energy erupted out from his body, and a violent wind was created as his fist bombarded towards the golden palm. Bang! Against the fierce attack from Chu Chi, the golden palm seemed to be like a mountain within a storm and remained unmoving. The terrifying golden palm seemed to have suppressed the air and shattered the fierce winds created from Chu Chi's palm. In the end, many people witnessed a scene where the palm was smashing directly against Chu Chi's body. Dong! A muffled sound resounded within the sky. Golden shockwaves spread out, and Chu Chi fell down almost instantaneously. Blood oozed out of his body and left a long trail as he fell. Chu Chi's body created an enormous crater on the ground, and he spat out another mouthful of blood. His face was extremely pale, and the spiritual energy that should have been circulating within his body had completely vanished. The region instantly became silent. Anyone who did not know about Mu Chen before inhaled mouthfuls of cold air. It was evident from the look on their faces that they felt horror from the scene. After all, Chu Chi was a powerhouse at the spirit stage middle phase level. Moreover, he had ingested the soul essence of a jaded-eyed golden crystal beast. With his abilities, there were barely any opponents for him in the spirit stage middle phase. However, right now, just in front of them, Chu Chi was defeated by Mu Chen, who was only at the spirit stage initial phase. There were also a few people here that came from the spiritual road. It was apparent that their strengths were much more powerful than the other individuals. When they watched this scene occur in front of their eyes, they managed to remain calm. However, their eyes shone, and a quiet fear ran trembling within their hearts. They originally wanted to take advantage of Mu Chen's weak strength and trample over him. Then, by using his reputation, they would be able to increase their own fame. But this scene made them gradually realize that the boy in front of them, although he had lost the spiritual road's empowerment, was still Mu Chen that they feared. He was able to stand out within the spiritual road. Thus, even in the Great Thousand World, he was outstanding as well. He would ultimately reach the same level as the ones that stood at the peak of cultivation and shine with a dazzling light that solely belonged to him. Brother Mu is truly impressive. Mo Ling and the others stared at this scene with surprise. Their eyes were filled with worship as they watched the conclusion of the fight. Ye Qingling also gently let out a sigh of relief. She stared at the boy that slowly descended from the sky. At this moment, this boy had turned into an exceptionally dazzling existence. Although she had never met Mu Chen before in the spiritual road, his name has long been known to people. Thinking about it, the current Mu Chen might be as dazzling as he was initially when he was within the spiritual road. The person that King Luo Li, likes is truly extraordinary. Under numerous gazes, Mu Chen landed near Chu Qi. His black eyes were slightly cold as he stared at the Chu Qi, who was completely pale. This person truly had a bit of skill. If it wasn't for the fact that he had advanced to the spirit stage and obtained the mysterious spiritual art Vajra Pagoda, it would have been difficult for him to defeat him today. It's your win. Chu Qi wiped the blood from his mouth and he stared complicatedly at Mu Chen. He originally thought that it would be a piece of cake for him to defeat Mu Chen, using his strength as a spirit stage middle phase, coupled with the power of the soul essence that he had ingested. But his expectations were completely off from the final result. To make Ji Xuan, Yang Hong, and the others fear him within the spiritual road, Mu Chen truly had something that made him impressive. Even without the spiritual road's empowerment, he was not someone that an ordinary person could shake. A purple golden light suddenly lit up on Chu Qi's forehead, and it shot off towards Mu Chen. Chu Qi said faintly, "This is the price I'll pay. Take it." A rank 7 symbol. When the surrounding individuals noticed the purple golden symbol, they could not help but speak out. This symbol was considered to be at the pinnacle in this region. They did not know how many spiritual beasts Chu Qi had hunted in order to increase his symbol to this level. But unfortunately, he had lost everything with just one battle. However, they did not react strangely when Chu Qi handed over his symbol. After all, this situation occurs too often. Once the challenger lost, they would hand over the symbol to the victor. Mu Chen waved his hand, and the purple golden light floated on the center of his palm. He glanced at it faintly, but he did not reply back to Chu Qi. Swish. Sounds of winds breaking resounded suddenly nearby. A dozen figures quickly rushed over and landed beside Chu Qi as they lifted him up. "Oh ho ho, Brother Mu!" It was Chu Qi's mistake this time. This symbol will be the price that he'll pay. I hope that you would not care too much about it. The handsome boy smiled at Mu Chen as he cupped his hands. The surrounding men also had a complicated expression plastered on their face. It was the first time that they've seen Chu Qi in such a helpless position. However, Mu Chen continued to fiddle around with the purple golden light and remained silent. At this moment, Ye Qingling and the others also rushed over to Mu Chen's side. They stared vigilantly at the men from the Chu clan. "Brother Mu?" Seeing this, the handsome boy thought that Mu Chen would refuse to let them go. His smile instantly stiffened. "Take it back." Mu Chen glanced at him for a moment and flicked his fingers. He sent the purple golden light back towards Chu Qi. At this moment, the latter was completely stunned. A rank 7 symbol was something that took a large amount of efforts from him. He believed that it would be tempting to anyone. Thus, he never thought that Mu Chen would return it back to him. "I hold no grudges with you. Although a rank 7 symbol is nice, it isn't worth much to me," Mu Chen replied faintly. Although the symbol on his forehead had dimmed after he had bought the dragon elephant array, nobody would object to this. After all, it was easy for a powerful person to rapidly increase their symbol's rank. Chu Qi had a complex expression as he absorbed the purple golden light back into his symbol. He replied, "Thank you. The person she likes is truly outstanding." Once Mu Chen noticed Chu Qi's expression of getting hurt in love, he could not help but curl his lips. "Oh ho ho ho. Thank you, Brother Mu, for being this generous. The Chu clan will treat it as if we owe you a favor. If there is anything that you need us to do, feel free to ask us. We will definitely do our best to help you." The handsome boy let out a sigh of relief once he noticed Mu Chen handing the symbol's spiritual aura back to Chu Qi. He immediately cupped his hands again and smiled. Mu Chen waved his hands and no longer wanted to talk with them. But just when he was about to turn away, "Wait." Ye Qingling suddenly grabbed onto Mu Chen's arm, stared at the handsome boy and asked, "We have something that we want to trouble you about. Feel free to say it." The handsome boy was slightly startled. "Recently, we've been searching for trails of heaven-ranked spiritual beasts. Since there are so many people within the Chu clan, You should have collected a variety of information. I wonder if you have any information regarding about this in particular, Ye Qingling asked. Heaven-ranked spiritual beasts? The handsome boy and Chu Qi exchanged gazes with each other. Both of them could see the surprise within their eyes. Mu Chen and the others were actually searching for heaven-ranked spiritual beasts. Aren't they acting too courageous? Boss? From the rear, a person walked up to the two of them. He quietly muttered, "If it's about heaven-ranked spiritual beasts, we indeed have a bit of information about them. It's over at the Valley of Ice." Valley of Ice? The handsome boy and Chu Chi's expressions instantly turned solemn, as if they recalled something. A few days ago, someone within their group passed through a mysterious region and heard a shocking sound. In the cold and windy environment, a massive creature seemed to have appeared. The pressure emitted out from it was not something that an ordinary, high-ranked spiritual beast would possess. "Brother Mu, why don't we find a place to talk about this?" The handsome boy exchanged gazes with each other. Then he stared at Mu Chen and smiled. Ye Qingling, who had only casually asked about this matter, had her eyes brighten up once she noticed the expression on Chu Chi's face. Beside her, Mu Chen was also quite surprised. Based on their expressions, they really had information regarding heaven-ranked spiritual beasts? It was indeed a pleasant surprise. In the Ye clan's camp, Mu Chen, Ye Qingling, and Chu Chi were sitting together in the central tent. "Brother Fang, can you tell us about the news you have gathered related to the heaven-ranked spiritual beasts yet?" Mu Chen smiled as he stared at the handsome boy beside Chu Chi. After the previous conversation, he had come to know that the latter's name was Fang Zhong, and he had also participated in the spiritual road. Right now, he was also at the spirit stage middle phase. Since he was friends with Chu Chi, he had co-founded the Chu clan with him. Hearing this, Fang Zhong smiled and nodded his head. He had a good impression of Mu Chen, as he did not show any arrogance, even after he defeated Chu Chi. He pondered for a moment and said, "A week ago, we discovered a relatively unique region. Because the region is constantly covered by ice and snow, we call it the Valley of Ice. While we were there, we discovered numerous precious worldly treasures. However, the strange thing was that there wasn't a single spiritual beast that stepped inside the region, nor were there any spiritual beasts that dared to seize these worldly treasures. Earlier, few of our men went inside to search, but just when they were planning on sneakily taking a few of the worldly treasures, a shocking sound rang out within the depths of the ice region. Then, they discovered a massive shadow of a beast that had hidden itself within the snow. But one thing is certain, the spiritual energy pressure emanating from it was not something that a high-ranked spiritual beast could compare with." Hearing this, Mu Chen was instantly lost in his own thoughts. He immediately asked, "Did you find out what spiritual beast it is?" A heaven-ranked spiritual beast was too powerful. Even if it was the weakest of the heaven-ranked spiritual beasts, it wasn't something that they could defeat. Therefore, they had to research it completely and figure out what spiritual beast it was and its respective rank on the Myriad Beast Record's Earth ranking before taking action. After this happened, our men drew a rough outline of what they had seen based on their memories. Fang Zhong exchanged glances with Chu Chi, and the latter pulled out a leather sheet, which he handed over to Mu Chen. When Mu Chen received it, he immediately glanced at the leather sheet. On the surface of the paper, a simple outline of a massive figure hidden within the snow was drawn. From its appearance, it seemed like a giant serpent. However, the enormous wings behind it were completely unfolded as it summoned snow. Although the spiritual beasts that are ranked in the top 80s of the Myriad Beast record have all entered the level of being a heaven-ranked spiritual beast, I do not believe that there is a heaven-ranked spiritual beast that is in the top 50s within the Northern Heavens world. Mu Chen slowly spoke. Hearing this, Fang Zhong and the others nodded their head. If a top 50 heaven-ranked spiritual beast was at its mature stage, they would be comparable to the heavenly transformation stage or even heavenly completion stage. Thus, it was probably impossible for the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy to control the situation if they had placed such a terrifying existence within this place. That being the case, we can only choose from the spiritual beasts that are between the 50th and 80th rank of the Myriad Beast record. Among these spiritual beasts, there is only one that is shaped like a giant serpent, has wings and enjoys living in an Arctic location. Mu Chen pointed at the leather sheet and slowly muttered as he looked at Chu Chi and the others. That is the spiritual beast that is ranked 73rd, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. Mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon? Chu Chi, Fang Zhong, and Ye Qingling were all stunned. Mysterious spirit hail dragon. Born in Arctic lands and possessing snowy wings since birth, it could summon snow and cause the lands to be in an endless winter. It would shed its skin every hundred years, and every time it shed its skin, its strength would increase significantly. Once it had shed its skin 3 times, it would enter its mature stage, and its strength would be comparable to a heavenly fusion stage late phase powerhouse. Heavenly fusion stage late phase. Mu Chen smacked his lips. He truly hoped that the mysterious spirit hail dragon had not reached maturity yet. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult for them to succeed in killing it. Thinking about his past encounters, Mu Chen had borrowed the 9 Netherbirds' power and had only barely managed to deal with Liu Jingshan, who had only advanced into the Heavenly Fusion Stage initial phase. If the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon had reached Heavenly Fusion Stage late phase, it would be impossible for him to kill it even if he borrowed 9 Netherbirds' power again. This mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon probably isn't at its mature stage yet. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for our men to escape underneath that spiritual energy pressure. Fang Zhong mused. Mu Chen nodded. He also believed that it was unlikely for the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon to be at its mature stage. Thus, he tilted his head towards Ye Qingling. It was quite a decent target for him. Oh ho ho, Brother Mu! From your appearance, are you planning on targeting the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon? Fang Zhong smiled. I'm a bit interested in it. Mu Chen smiled and did not hide the interest he had about the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. The mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon is too powerful. You cannot defeat it, Chu Chi muttered deeply. Since the majority of them were only at the spirit stage, how was it possible for them to defeat a heaven-ranked spiritual beast that was at the heavenly fusion stage? It's true that we cannot defeat it with us alone. Mu Chen smiled and immediately asked, but what if we include another 100 spirit stage powerhouses? Fang Zhong and Chu Chi's expressions changed slightly. Within this current Northern Heavens world, there are many people. I believe that many of these people would be interested in a heaven-ranked spiritual beast. If we were to spread the news about the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon out, there should be many people who would flock over there. No matter how powerful a mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon is, it would be powerless against that many individuals. Once that happens, we could take advantage of the crisis to seize the soul essence. That is our chance, Mu Chen said faintly. With that many individuals, it would no longer be certain that you would be able to obtain the soul essence, even if we managed to defeat the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon. Fang Zhong replied slowly. But at least there's a chance, right? Mu Chen smiled. Fang Zhong and Chu Chi both turned silent. It was true. At least they would have a chance of success. Thank you both of you for telling me such important information. Mu Chen cupped his hands to the two of them. Without them bringing him the news about a heaven-ranked spiritual beast, it might have taken a bit of time before they managed to find one. Fang Zhong and Chu Chi exchanged gazes with each other. The former suddenly let out a cough and smiled. Brother Mu, we are also quite interested in your proposal. If it's possible, can you include us in this? Regarding the heaven-ranked spiritual beast soul essence, we do not truly have a desire for it. After all, the two of us had already ingested a soul essence. Although we could ingest it once again, it is too troubling. Therefore, we would not plan on snatching this. However, there are many precious, worldly treasures within the Valley of Ice. If there's an opportunity, we would also like to obtain a few materials from the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon's body. After all, the mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon's body is an amazing material for creating spiritual artifacts. In the future, we might find a spiritual blacksmith to create a powerful spiritual artifact for us. Hearing this, Mu Chen communicated with Ye Qingling using their gazes. Then he smiled and nodded. We eagerly welcome you. Since it's like this, let us cooperate once. The information was brought over by Chu Chi and the others. Moreover, they weren't weak either. If they were to cooperate, it would definitely benefit them. What are you planning to do next, Brother Mu? Seeing Mu Chen give them his approval, Fang Zhong and even Chu Chi smiled. A hint of eagerness filled their eyes. Although the two of them were quite mature, they were still young. Thus, they liked to do things that would stimulate them. A battle against a heaven-ranked spiritual beast was something that they were deeply interested in. My plan is actually quite simple. We will first take a group of people to the Valley of Ice to explore the terrain. At the same time, we will send a few men to spread information that a mysterious Spirit Hail Dragon is within the Valley of Ice. I believe that the Valley of Ice would be quite bustling within 2 days. We would not need to guide the others and could just wait for the developments to occur. After all, there will definitely be someone who would be willing to be the first wave of attack. Mu Chen smiled. Fang Zhong and Chu Qi nodded their heads. It was indeed true that there was no need of any special plans. After all, the mysterious spirit hell dragon was too powerful. Probably there was nobody within the Northern Heavens world who could defeat it by themselves. In that case, they could only rely on numbers. As for who would obtain the soul essence, it would depend on their own abilities. Since it's like this, we will take our leave first. Tomorrow I will bring our men over and we'll set out together. Fang Zhong and Chu Qi both stood up as they spoke. Mu Chen nodded and watched as the two departed the tent. We should also begin our preparations. About this trip towards the Valley of Ice, we should only bring men who possess the strength of a spiritual rotation stage late phase. Otherwise, it would be dangerous since others do not possess sufficient strength to protect themselves, Mu Chen said as he turned towards Ye Qingling. Ye Qingling nodded and immediately headed out in order to secretly arrange her men. On the other hand, Mu Chen stretched his waist slightly while a hint of interest emerged within his black eyes. Oh ho ho, mysterious spirit hell dragon. You are quite an excellent target. This time, you'll probably be tormented. On the following day, Fang Zhong and Chu Qi arrived on time and brought approximately 30 men over. All of these men possessed the strength of a spiritual rotation stage late phase. It was evident that they understood that it was not something that they could complete with just numbers. The Ye clan's strength wasn't something that could compare with the Chu clan. They only had approximately a dozen spiritual rotation stage late phase members, which wasn't even half of the Chu clan. However, with Mu Chen leading them, the Chu clan members did not dare to underestimate them. Mu Chen discussed with Fang Zhong briefly. Then he beckoned Mo Ling over and said, "After we depart, you should secretly spread the information out based on what I had said. Be careful to make sure that nobody finds out that we spread this information out deliberately." "Brother Mu, relax." Mo Ling nodded his head. He was filled with regret as he could not follow Mu Chen and the others to meet a heaven-ranked spiritual beast. However, he understood that he would only drag them down if he went without sufficient strength. Seeing this, Mu Chen said no more and exchanged glances with Fang Zhong. He waved his hand. "Let's go." The Valley of Ice was located in a forest that was situated at the northwest of the interior of the Northern Heavens world. This place was far too remote. Thus, it was rare for individuals to head over there, even if the Northern Heavens world was filled with people. In order for Mu Chen and the others to arrive at this location, it took them an entire day. Numerous spiritual beasts would bother them along the way. Fortunately, the group was filled with experts. Thus, no causalities occurred, even though their pace was slowed. On the second day's afternoon, Mu Chen and the others gradually slowed down their pace. This is because they detected that the temperature was dropping at an alarming rate. They exchanged gazes with each other, and their spirits shook. It seemed that they weren't far away from their destination. As the group entered a mountain, they looked around and were completely shocked. The originally lush forest had suddenly disappeared. Instead, what had replaced it was a world filled with snow. Cold snowflakes mixed with whistling winds descended on this world of ice. A cry rang out from the air around them. "So this is the Valley of Ice." Mu Chen stared at the world of ice that was hidden by the mountain and let out a sigh. Just when he was about to speak, an ancient giant beast's roar rang out from the depths of the world of ice. Bang! At this moment, the snow descending was shaken and spread apart. An amazing chill emitted from the gap. Mu Chen's body was like a boulder as he stood on the peak of the mountain. However, his eyes remained fixed on the depths of the world of ice. Under the blizzard, he could vaguely see a massive creature summoning snow. Although there was still quite a bit of distance to the massive creature, its spiritual energy pressure had already spread all the way to this place. Within Mu Chen's black eyes, a hint of passion surged. They had predicted it correctly. The massive creature that was hidden within the world of ice was indeed the mysterious spirit hell dragon, ranked 73rd on the Myriad Beast Records Earth rankings. That wraps up the content for today's episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the next episode. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.